But you know why we don't got to worry about SmackDown sucking? Because we got Roman Reigns in the Bloodline, man.
Welcome to your Bloodline update, everybody. We're gonna try and make this a weekly thing.
Man, what a update this one is. And all week long before the show last Friday, it was built up as Jey Uso has to make the decision. The Friday Night SmackDown before, it was kind of marketed that way, but he ended up not making any decision, walking out on both him and his brother. But Roman was here this week. And that was the mission for Roman, get Jey to fall in line and, just talk about, how you felt about that final segment leading up to the super kick, just everything that was said, beforehand.
Man, they set this up like crazy well. They set it up like, oh, wow. Oh, no, Jey was actually betraying you this whole time. Like, Jimmy was actually betraying you this whole time. He didn't want that to be what you want. Like, he was jealous, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And then,
you got to remember, before, Jimmy even walked in, Jey was trying to tell Roman, look, he even told Paul Heyman, if Jey stays, then Paul Heyman's got to go. And if you remember correctly, when the whole thing first started, when Jey first was feuding with Roman Reigns, he was telling Roman, yo, why is Paul Heyman here? And, Roman just kind of kept brushing it off. And, I think that kind of just came to a head that last Friday when he said, yo, Roman, if I'm going to stay, Paul Heyman has to go. And, of course, Roman, he was just like, yo, when you're tribal chief, then you can pick your own wise man, but this here is my wise man. And that's really the angle Roman was trying to get at this whole time. He was trying to groom Jey Uso to be the next tribal chief.
Right, which that didn't end up happening. I mean, and it does harken back to something that Sami Zayn said a couple weeks ago that's like, whenever he gets in that tribal chief mode, it's Paul Heyman's voice in his own mind, not his.
Mm-hmm.
That it's this idea that Paul Heyman's been brainwashing Roman Reigns to be this guy, the manipulator that he's trying to be.
Oh, Paul Heyman, he is the master manipulator.
I mean, can we go back to him running around with CM Punk back in the day during the best heel run they ever had?
Exactly. Paul Heyman, he's a guy that, he's kind of that slimy heel character that, Roman Reigns, he does trust in. To be fair, he's put Roman in position to be the guy for 1,020 or so days.
Yep, he has.
Yeah, but Jey Uso, he was, telling Roman that he didn't want Paul Heyman there, but Roman wanted Jey Uso to know, hey, listen, Paul's going to be here, but you're going to be tribal chief one of these days. And when you're tribal chief, you can go ahead and choose your own wise man.
Get rid of him.
Exactly. It's not Paul's fault. It's not my fault. It's not your fault, Jey. It's your brother, Jimmy. And that's when Jimmy Uso came out and he said that, Roman is manipulating Jey. He's using Jey and he's just setting you up. He's not trying to make you the tribal chief. He just wants to use you more so he can keep those titles. It was a real angel and devil on the shoulder type situation going on here.
And it worked out well because it was no, this was always the plan. And then they were and then he said and then Jey was like to Jimmy, was that true? Mm-hmm. Was this always the plan, or is he pulling this out of his ass?
Yeah. So and he told and Roman ended up telling Jey Uso that when he was brought up the idea for Jey to become the right hand man, Jimmy was the one that was against it. He didn't want Jey to become the right hand man, and like you said, Jey turned around, asked Jimmy if it was true. Jimmy just told him he was trying to protect him and look out for his brother. And, this is kind of when it got really real for Jey. He talked about how Jimmy was the older brother, how he was out the womb 15 minutes before Jey, how Jimmy was the one that was going to be the guy that was, voted most likely to succeed, athlete of the year. Jey Uso was always looked down upon or looked at as lesser than Jimmy, but when Jimmy got hurt it was a blessing in disguise, and that allowed Jey Uso to rise up and become main event Jey Uso.
Right.
Yeah, and you know,
after
all that, after he said all that, when it looked like Jey Uso would make the right choice and stay with Roman Reigns and stay with the Bloodline, he betrays his cousin and super kicks him in the face.
Well,
shockingly.
Can we talk about how Roman sold that, though?
Oh,
he made that super kick look like $1 million, and I was like, wow.
Oh yeah, no, he flattened like a pancake.
I'm like, wow, that it makes me happy that
sold it like a shotgun shot, man.
Roman was willing to do that for his, like, even as this whole thing is still going down, like, oh, the bloodline's crumbling. Yes, he's still putting over the Usos.
Yeah.
Which is great for him, and it made me respect him that much more, because he could have just no-sold that if he wanted to and just had Solo beat the crap out of the both of them. But no, he sold that like it was $1 million. And, I mean, I mean, you're going to really like what I say, Jerome. There have been times when I haven't liked Roman Reigns.
Of course, but you and a lot of other people.
Yeah, I mean, we go back to WrestleMania 30. We go back to the WrestleMania 30 days where...
Yeah, y'all didn't like him main eventing all those WrestleManias. Yes, we know, Noah. But get to the point where you give him credit.
I'm giving him credit right now because he has been putting over a lot of people. He's made the Usos main event television again. Especially since before that, like when they were doing the basketball shorts and the tribal face paint, they didn't even get on a WrestleMania show for like 10 years. And just think of all the titles and stuff that the Usos won during that time. Like, they were a prominent tag team, but the best they could get was the pre-show. And always. Well, I mean, the other thing behind that was that Vince doesn't care about tag team wrestling.
Also, yes, that also has a lot to do with it. But, just in general, though, because Roman Reigns and his star power, he's allowed the Usos to elevate themselves.
Right, because people actually like Roman. They are behind Roman because this storyline has been so good.
Exactly. He's gotten over the Usos with the Bloodline storyline. He's gotten over Sami Zayn with the Bloodline storyline. And for some reason, they keep on betraying him. Now, why would Jey Uso do that? Like, listen, Jey, I know your brother. Yes, your twin brother. He doesn't like Roman. He thinks he's manipulating you. Yes, we understand that. But Roman is the cash cow. He's the reason you are main event Uso. You said it as much. You said it yourself in that promo. That's why I thought he was going to go with Roman. But no, he betrayed Roman Reigns. And now there's a bloodline civil war. Can't we all just get along, Noah?
All good things must come to an end.
Boo. Oh, we could all be getting Usi right now. It's all Sami Zayn's fault. If Sami never hit Roman if he never hit Roman with the chair at Royal Rumble, if he just hit Kevin Owens with that chair, like Roman said, then everybody would be getting Usi right now. But the Usos would still be champions. Sami Zayn would probably be the United States champion, and the Bloodline would reign supreme. But no, we didn't get any of that.
But we also wouldn't have gotten the main event of night one of WrestleMania, which you got to admit was awesome.
Yes, it was a great match.
It was a great match with great build. This is all building to when the reign ends. The story has to end sometime.
See, and that's where you guys are mistaken. Because look, y'all, and the reason why a lot of you guys are so excited for the end of the Bloodline, oh my God, it's all coming to an end, because you think that the end of the Bloodline coincides with the end of Roman's title reign. Let me tell you right now, it don't matter who's in Roman's corner, whether it's just Paul, whether it's Solo, whether they bring in Jacob Fatu, or whether he's all alone. Roman is still going to be the best player in WWE. He's still going to be the best wrestler. Nobody can still beat Roman. He's going to keep his title reign going past WrestleMania 40, past 41, past 42. He's going to hold that belt for 5,000 days, Bloodline, no Bloodline, and that's the one thing you guys don't know. All right,
so one thing we don't know.
The end of the Bloodline does not mean the end of Roman Reigns' title reign. Roman is still gonna reign supreme, and you guys got to deal with that. And Jey Uso, you threw it away. You had the meal ticket, but you threw it away. And Jimmy Uso, your brother could have been United States champion, but you just had to come in and ruin it. And Jey Uso don't know that. It was on purpose. Jimmy Uso did that on purpose. He wrecked his U.S. title shot on purpose. And only Roman knows that. He's the only one that's been looking out for Jey. But Jey doesn't want to listen. He's going to listen to his brother like he always does. He's going to follow his brother. He doesn't want to be his own man. He wants to be a twin. He doesn't want to be a tribal chief. So Roman will continue to be the tribal chief. And maybe Solo will smarten up. And maybe that's who Roman can groom next. But go ahead. I just had to get. Yes, I'm done.
With your
go ahead.
Apologist
go ahead. Go
rant.
ahead.
The story has to end sometime. I know you want him to hold the belt forever, but we don't need another Bruno Sammartino. We don't need that because we don't live in that world where there's only 4 things a year for the WWE top title belts to do anything. We live in a world now where we have weekly TV, we have monthly pay-per-views, or premium live events.
Man, they still pay-per-views. They still pay-per-views to me. I'm not.
Thanks, Nick Khan.
They can call them whatever
jackass.
they want. They pay-per-views, man.
But they're still building up Cody. And when that finally happens, you got to understand that we are going to get such an amazing pop when Cody finally finishes the story and does what his father couldn't. He does, and he, like, come on.
I don't. No, you're talking about the end of the reign. That's the end of Roman's title reign. Why is it? I don't know why y'all gonna love it so much. And yeah, you're right. It's gonna be a huge pop, and I don't know why. Roman is awesome. Why do we want this thing to end? It's been great. Everyone talks about how good the segments are. We all talk about how good the bloodline is, how interesting they are. Why y'all want this thing to end? Why y'all want?
Because Cody can be just as awesome. And if we have 2 awesome title guys in WWE, that's always a good thing. As well as the fact that if he gets that belt, you know what might come back?
Who?
The Winged Eagle. The Winged Eagle belts.
Oh, y'all.
Yes, I'm holding on to hope for that.
Hey,
I want that to happen so badly.
Listen,
because that was a freaking title that was worth fighting for, man.
Hey, hold on. But before we sign off, just give me a quick take, cause just real quick, just now that you're speaking about belts, how do you feel about Roman still holding the other 2 belts after he got the new one 2 weeks ago?
It's a bit much, but I honestly think that might be for the better.
It's hilarious, bro.
It is hilarious.
Look, if Paul Heyman
you gotta give Paul something to do if he's not talking on the mic.
Yeah, he gotta hold them 2 belts. It would be weird if Paul wasn't holding those 2 titles. Like, nah.
And now even Roman has his own title to hold by himself. Like, although I wish they would have given it a lot more tribal, chiefy stuff on it. Because
I wish they would have let it be more personal to Roman. Like, yeah,
because I mean,
it just looks like the same belts except it's gold.
Because even The Rock and Stone Cold had their own belts. Like you had the Brahma Bull belt, the Smoking Skull belt.
And if you were gonna give someone their own belts, I mean, it would make sense to have them be the person who has held that title for like over 1,000 days. If there was any time to have a new belt, it would be now.
30 years.
Exactly.
It would be awesome if it were to have like, the tribal designs on it. Maybe some more red accents to represent Roman's lay.
Yeah.
Maybe say tribal freaking chief on it.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? It is what it is in terms of that. We're not going to get like too much into it, but me personally, I'm excited about this Money in the Bank match, the Bloodline Civil War, and just real quick, what are your just quick thoughts about that?
I'm excited for the I'm excited for the Bloodline Civil War match. It's going to be a banger. No matter who wins that match, it is going to be a banger. It's gonna be this whole thing of like it's gonna answer the question of, can Roman do it by himself?
And he will answer it by winning and
He will
pinning
either-
both Usos. He's going to stack them up and beat them just like Daniel Bryan and Edge in WrestleMania 37. That's how he's going to beat them.
It's either that or he's going to get taken out. It's going to be by something that's not the Usos or anything else, and it's going to be Solo that takes the pin. Or it'll be a disqualification, and it's going to be one of those things, like, say Rikishi shows up and slaps Solo in the face.
You know what? I will say, look, I don't know how this match is going to turn out, but as long as the end conclusion ends with them leading up to Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, I think that needs to be the SummerSlam match. That's the match that has been building up since last WrestleMania. And, I think that's really the match that's gonna sell. Like it's 3 years in the making. Their 2 matches in the Thunderdome were classics. Now they can finally get that rematch that I've been waiting for
in front of a live
crowd. And I think as long as that's what this is building up to, the Bloodline Civil War, I think that the match is gonna be good. Of course, it's a Roman match, so of course it's gonna be good.
I may not be a Roman Reigns guy like Jerome over here, but I even gotta say, like, yo, these Roman matches have been great.